Welcome back to the channel. In this video I'm going to be discussing a couple topics related to the vehicle code here in California. Of course, the big one is Assembly Bill 1824, Section 4, the Modified Vehicle Code 40610, changed exhaust system noise citations from fix-it tickets to ones that were non-correctable or had a fine and had to be processed through the court. There's a brand new Assembly Bill 390 that was introduced on February 5th, 2019 that attempts to rescind those changes. And then the second topic in the video will be the noise limits and testing procedures for vehicles with 6,000 and higher gross vehicle weight ratings. I have one of those and I didn't know how to properly test those or whether my vehicle complied with the 80 decibel limit stated in the vehicle code. So I talked with the CHP rep and we're getting some answers on that. So after the information disclaimer and the introduction here, we'll come back and talk about both those topics. If this is the first time you've come to the channel, or even if it's not, and you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. I would truly appreciate it. If you like the content, hit that like button. So let's start taking a look at those two topics. Please review the Automotive Information, Repair, and Modification Guidelines on this screen. Seek the advice of a repair professional if you're unsure how to perform any repair or modification safely and correctly. All repairs and modifications are performed at your own risk. We're now going to take a look at Assembly Bill 390 that was introduced on February 5th, 2019. So we're going to switch over to my computer screen here to take a look at that. So here is the proposed new bill that will potentially rescind the modifications enacted by Assembly Bill 1824. So let's take a look at the proposed bill here. So the modification is to remodify the Vehicle Code Section 40610, and it will, as you can see the changes in red here, it's changing a single word on item 2. And then subdivision B, it's going to remove the item number 4, which was the thing that was added by Assembly Bill 1824, Section 4. So this is going to move the exhaust system noise citations back to fix-it tickets, but it doesn't change anything else with regard to the vehicle code, as 1824, Section 4 didn't really change anything else related to the vehicle code. So this is just going to potentially move exhaust system noise citations back to fix-it tickets, where you would take the vehicle to get it corrected and do whatever you needed to, and then take it back to the issuing agency to have them sign off on the correction, and potentially either no fine or small fee depending on the situation. But it wouldn't be going through the state referee necessarily, or the court system. There's no, it moves it from non-correctable to correctable, and in the sense it's a fix-it ticket going forward again, or where it was back in 2018. So that's the only change here with Assembly Bill 390. It was introduced with on February 5th, 2019 by Jim Frazier and Timothy Grayson. They're part of the Transportation Committee, and they are also members of the State Automotive Enthusiast Leadership Caucus, which is sponsored by SEMA. And the feedback from the vehicle owners here in California apparently was heard enough to where this particular bill was proposed. Now, whether the bill actually gets converted to a law, it doesn't go before the committee until a 30-day waiting period has taken place, which I think the first committee date is March 8th of 2019. So if it gets reviewed in committee and gets out to the legislature to get voted on and then forwarded to the governor and signed by the governor, there's still a question about when it would be enacted. Is it something that's retroactive to the first of the year? That's still an open question. But there's some positive change here. Vehicle owners, I guess, are getting heard. The online petitions, feedback to their legislative representatives is apparently working on this particular one. So there's some hope on this to move it back to where the tickets were fix-it tickets. And hopefully that's helpful to you on your situation. But again, the remainder of the vehicle code didn't change. So given that, let's now take a look at the next question that I had. As I was investigating all of this with the original change, I was investigating the vehicle code with regard to the noise limits for vehicles, and I noticed here let's switch back to the computer. We're going to take a look at 27151 subdivision B. Of course, it talked about that 6,000 pound amount here as far as this particular noise limit of 95 dBA
apply to vehicles less than 6,000 gross vehicle weight rating. And then I pointed that out in the previous video. And then I have a vehicle that actually is over 6,000 pounds. And many of you might also have similar vehicles, such as SUVs or pickup trucks, might have a gross vehicle weight rating higher than, or 6,000 pounds or higher. So 95 isn't the limit as I was reading the vehicle code. So it is stated 95 here, but that's for less than 6,000 pounds. And if you go to the state referee's website, as I pointed out in my other videos, this testing program is only for vehicles that have a gross vehicle weight rating less than 6,000 pounds as well. So for my vehicle that's 6,050 pounds, how do I deal with that particular situation? So the other thing that came up is, since it is over 6,000 pounds and 95 dBA doesn't apply, what is it? So I followed from the subdivision A part of this, which it talks about Article 2.5, commencing with Section 27200, since subdivision B doesn't apply. So I researched that. Here's 27200, and then 27204 for the purposes of 27200 defines the gross vehicle weight rating limits and year of manufacture and the dBA limits. Now it states it's 80, and for anything after 1977, over 6,000, but not over 8,500, which is where my vehicle fits into that particular chart. And then I ran a noise level test on that vehicle. It does not comply with 80. It complies with the 95, but it doesn't comply with 80. So I thought, this seems a bit odd. It was a vehicle first sold here in California as new. It has the manufacturer code from GM stating that it complies with California emissions. And since it was first sold here in the state, the dealership couldn't register it with the DMV unless it complied with California vehicle code limits. So what's up with that? So I called the local CHP office, posed that situation to them, and they thought that was an interesting question. He didn't know the answer. So right now the local CHP media officer is helping me out with that set of questions. I sent him an email last week with the scenario that I have, saying that, I don't know, one, just like I mentioned in the other videos, you don't have a way to test the vehicle because the state referee handles vehicles under 6,000 pounds. So if I did get a citation, whether it's a fix-it ticket or not, how do I prove one way or the other that I've complied? And is it 80 dBA or is it 95? Because when I ran the tests, on my vehicle, it was at like 94.7 at the appropriate testing RPM. I use the standard that's used by the referee for vehicles under 6,000 pounds. So I ran it at the appropriate RPM rating with the decibel meter, which I have over my shoulder here. I use that at the appropriate angle from the exhaust tip and the right height, and it got a 94.7. And it's a stock engine, stock exhaust. It was sold into California as a new vehicle, complied with California emissions. So the whole thing is, I don't know how that vehicle could have ever complied with the 80 dBA limit. So the set of questions went off to that CHP office, and right now that's being researched. It was passed along to Central CHP to have them investigate what the appropriate response is. Is my interpretation incorrect of the vehicle code? Is the vehicle code got a big gaping hole here? Which I'm beginning to wonder if that's not the case. Again, if I'm reading the vehicle code correctly. But I'll let you know what I get the information from the CHP back on those set of questions, and because it applies to potentially a lot of people out there that have SUVs and pickup trucks that are gross vehicle weight ratings over 6,000 pounds. So you might want to check the gross vehicle weight rating for your vehicle, be it on the door tag or if you know it by looking it up online. See where your vehicle is, because right now it's kind of still an open category. Is how does that get handled? Because again, Assembly Bill 390 doesn't change the limits. It doesn't, nor did Assembly Bill 1824 Section 4. Didn't change the dBA limits at all. So is it that my vehicle should comply with 80, or should it comply with 95? Don't know. But I'm trying to get the answer for you and for myself. So with that, again, if you haven't come to the channel before and this is your first time, I hope you like the video. Hit that like button if you like the content. Hit the subscribe to the channel. If you've come to the channel and like the content, please subscribe. It's free. It'd be greatly appreciated by myself. And I hope to get you the answers to these questions. So I'll see you in the next one.
If you like this video, smash that like button. If you're stopping by the channel for the first time, please subscribe to the channel. Click that bell icon to get notified when I upload new videos. Please follow Retro Car Guy 530 on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Thanks for taking the time to visit the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.